All right, guys, it is another episode of Mic'd Up Live. I'm your host, Mike Carmelini, and you know I like to do these for no reason whatsoever. But today I have a special guest. Jeremy, welcome to the show, Horsepower Hour. It's great to see you, partner. How's it going? How's Colorado treating you today?
Oh, it's not bad. It's a nice day out.
Yeah,
Yeah, Colorado's always good. If you're not dealing with like the secret's out. Unfortunately, when I grew up,
yeah,
born and raised here, and it's not like it was in the '80s and '90s, but it's still pretty darn good.
yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. We
Not
just
bad.
actually just got back from there. I wish I was there now, but I appreciate you coming in from the beautiful weather and talking a little shit with me here on Mic'd Up. A couple things to talk about today, right? And we
Yeah.
should probably just hit this. And we're not going to get into too much. This is a very impromptu, last minute show, but um, this is a great deal for the Broncos signing Benito to his extension. I've got 4 year, 120. I've seen 106. But it
70
looked like
guaranteed.
70 million guaranteed
Yep.
and 26 mil a year, 26 and a half mil a year. This is George showing off at this point, isn't it, Jeremy? Isn't
A
he
little
just
bit.
showing off now?
A little bit. Yeah. He's done it 3 times this offseason. Did it with Sutton. Then he did it with Allen. Now he's doing it with with Nick. But this is the one that I was a little nervous about
Yeah.
because like you saw what Michael Parsons just signed and you're like, oh gosh, do
Yeah,
not do this.
exactly. That was the issue, right? The guy's getting
Yes.
47 mil and it's not the same position, but
No.
everybody's like, hey, Benito's watching this, Benito sees that.
Yeah.
And there were calmer heads out there who were saying, that's not going to affect this too much. You're looking at, the $30 million a year thing. And I wasn't necessarily worried. Like, I'm never worried what the team's going to pay somebody.
Right.
Everybody's always like, I can't believe we're paying this player this much money. Well, I never really care about that. What I care about is losing good players because of a few $1 million. Like I just never wanted to go, oh, we totally overpaid this guy, unless
Right.
he's a complete bust, and then that bothers me. But George and his staff are really good about fitting all this stuff in there, and going back to like when Zach Seegers famously tweeted, like maybe 4 months into Russell Wilson, he's
Yeah.
like, we could get rid of this guy if we do this, 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 and this.
Uh-huh.
And then by this year, we would be fine. And it literally all happened. So he like has that pinned to his Twitter page
That's his
forever.
claim.
Like he's
Yeah.
gonna live off of that tweet forever. So
Yeah.
but good on him. But after that, Jeremy, I just always knew that, you know, I would my worry was Benito's camp was gonna be like, fuck it, we want 38. We want
Right.
40.
That's what I was worried about. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if that happens, then they're not going to do that. And
No.
then we lose them. And I didn't want to lose them. So I think it's a great, just another great win for George and those guys. And nice to go into the season right without having to worry about, one of our top 5 players not being happy.
Definitely. And you know where I think this all stems from? I think a little half of the magic that George is able to sign these guys for like, consumable like contracts is that he drafts guys with the right makeup in the first place.
Yeah.
And so because somebody is a hard worker and humble and comes in with the right attitude and wants to be a team player and that kind of stuff, that also translates to contract time, and you're able to get deals done that are, manageable, as opposed to getting a guy who is a little more flashy, a little more like me first. And then when it comes to contract time, now he wants the moon and we don't want to pay, and then you have all these other problems. So I think, half of that work is done initially.
Yeah. Sean and George have a type,
Yes.
as they like to say.
Yes.
Like, I have a type, 5'4", preferably blonde. Doesn't have to be really blonde. You can dye your hair, whatever. That's actually true. Hi, Teresa, if you're watching this. But those guys have a type.
Yeah.
You're right. It's not like they've had opportunities for the more flashy me types.
Mhm.
And God bless them. Sometimes they work,
Yep.
but in some, and it would depend on what team they went to. You can go to Dallas and be whatever you want. You
For a while.
can, you know, for a while until you need to get paid. But I
Yeah.
mean, you can go to the Raiders and you can be, you know what I'm saying? But the
Yes.
Broncos, you know, all the talk about, you know, Sean Payton being hard to play for and people not wanting to play for. I think we can put that to bed. I think players like to play for Sean Payton. I think that George and Sean make a great team. And geez, with the ownership and those guys, boy, is it a great time to be a Broncos fan or what, Jeremy?
Finally, right? I mean, us older guys who are Broncos fans, we got to see like the great days of the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
And then some of these younger kids are like, I was a little kid the last time, like maybe, barely could even remember when Peyton Manning won.
They can't even remember Peyton. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy because that's crazy enough almost 10 years ago or 10 years ago now.
10 years ago. Yeah.
This season. Yeah. Did you guys, so your Horsepower Hour
Yeah.
is a fantastic show. Now what's crazy about that show, and for those of you that don't know, get on YouTube and find it, Horsepower Hour. You might know David talks Broncos.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And Jeremy and Kodiak Bronco, right?
Yeah, it was Kodiak Broncos podcast. Now I think it's just Kodiak Broncos.
Kodiak Broncos. You're going to find it it's going to be the only one. And then, of course, Marky Sports, I believe, is what Mark calls his.
Yeah.
So you got 4 guys. They all come together for one show. They all stream it to their own channels. Mm-hmm. So, of course, they'll have 1,000 views, and on Horsepower Hour, there'll be like 2. So
yeah, exactly.
If you subscribe to the show or you subscribe to them, do those guys a favor and head over to the Horsepower and just subscribe to that one too. Eventually they'll want to get that one going. I have the same problem. Mm-hmm. I have Mic'd Up, which does great. And by the way, that starts, I've got my first Mic'd Up of the season starts next week with Zach Seegers and Ben from Sports Talk Denver in match number 1. So that'll be next week. And we'll be able to talk about the Titans game and set up, what is it? Are the Colts next? Is that what we got?
Yep.
So that'll be great. But the reason I bring your show up is because I wanted to ask you, have you guys picked, have you done your season predictions for where you're at with the Broncos this year? Like, where do you think they're going to fall?
Yeah, we did. I probably this last month when you're looking for content, I think we did it like a few weeks ago or a month ago. I had them at 12-5, and I'm always afraid to predict. I hate that kind of stuff because I'm like, I'll jinx it, but like,
we can't jinx it, but we can sure get beat up for it when we're wrong.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. You could I could be wrong a million times. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's where we're looking. I think we have a really good chance to win the AFC West. I don't think we're scared of Kansas City at all. For some reason, we have a harder time with the Chargers, it seems like, than Kansas City after last year at least. And this is going to be interesting. I think we're going to know after week 3 how kind of, we're feeling about everything, because these first 2 games are kind of nice because they're kind of like warm-up games where you're not getting the most, you're not getting Philadelphia right off the bat or something like Dallas is tonight.
Week 5.
Right. You get a little bit of work. We're
going to find out a lot about our team week 5 too.
Right.
Yeah.
But like after that first Chargers game, that's going to show you, because that's a tough team as well. They built the same kind of way that Sean did. And, you're going to have to win some games. Like that was the one knock from last year. And I think we had an unbelievable year last year. Bo Nix exceeded, almost everybody's expectations. Sure. I was huge on Bo Nix, like beforehand. That was my whole thing, is like, I wanted him. I went on with Mark. Like that was the first time I ever went on live YouTube talking about the Broncos. It was with Mark, and it was pre-draft, and I was like, we got to get Bo Nix. But
so you were on him before we even got him.
Yeah, I was on him for like months. I used to be. I always used to watch like the Mile High Huddle stuff and be on the chat all kinds, and I was pushing Bo Nix agenda.
Yeah. In
January, like before the draft, I was all in on Bo Nix just because I felt like he matched again, like we were talking about, the type of guy that Sean would want. Let alone, I think he was totally being overlooked because of his Auburn stuff and all that kind of stuff. I think people were so stuck in the past.
Yeah.
So, but last year we lost a lot of close games to good teams, and that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to win those games this year. So that's the one like hump that we have to get over that we didn't get over last year. We won a lot of games last year, but against good teams we lost close ones. So that Kansas City game, obviously we all remember that, the first Kansas City game and how we should have won that game. It's going to be those type of wins that we're going to need to grind out,
Yeah, no doubt.
The Chargers and stuff. And who knows how it's going to go against Philadelphia and those type of teams too. So,
yeah, we need to go 2-0 and we need to be 3-2 after the first 5 games. So if that's Cincinnati or San Diego, I'll probably call them that for the rest of my life. But the Chargers, and I don't have the schedule in front of me. I don't know if we're there. I would assume that we're in Los Angeles for that Chargers game. So that's probably not a make or break for us. I think 3 of our first 5 are on the road, and I think
we're in LA.
Yeah, so we're in LA. So I think if we play them well, and we don't get out of there with a win, it's not going to break. Well, I'm going to hate it, but I don't think that's going to tell the tale quite yet. But over those first 5 games, 3-2 would be great.
Yeah,
would be great. 4-1 would be fantastic.
Definitely,
because I still think Philadelphia is the best team in the league. I will disagree with. So I'm going to push back a little bit on the Kansas City Chiefs. It's kind of in vogue right now to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs falling back and coming down to earth. But if I remember right, they were like 15-2 last season.
Yep.
And yes, we almost beat them. Legitimately, should have beat them.
Should have, yeah.
And then the freebie at the end of the season. So, I mean, it's fun to whoop up on them 30, whatever it was, to 3 or 7, or God forbid. That was a blast to watch.
That was.
But it wasn't a real football game. It was like a preseason game. So, I don't have the Broncos winning the AFC West.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have them 11-13 wins. And the reason I say 11-13, for those of you watching, you know that I've predicted it both ways in the last week or so.
Okay.
So when I'm just having the conversation and we're just talking about like we are, I'm like, I see us, 11 wins. We could win 12 wins, but 11 wins would be, I got them about 11 wins. Well, then the mistake I made was going through the whole schedule game by game on a show.
Yeah.
And then when I got to the bottom, we had won 13 games. So, so it's actually, when I studied it more, I had us winning more. So, it's somewhere between there. Like we don't know. And the things that it depends on, some of them are kind of out of control. Right. And the reason I say that is, for instance, Dre Greenlaw, he missed practice again today. Now, when he missed Wednesday's practice, he never really practices on Wednesday anyways, guys.
Right.
So that's kind of his vet day.
Mm-hmm.
Not practicing today concerns me. Are you nervous about that a little bit?
Yeah, I was expecting it to be like a did not practice vet day yesterday. So I was like, okay, that's probably on pace of what he was doing. Not practicing today, I would have expected a limited. But a DNP is like, because today wasn't pads. Yesterday was pads. So that makes me a little more concerned. Now, they said that they're going to have him on and the other thing that makes me concerned is like, I always am like a watcher of like body language and like tone and stuff like that when you're doing interviews. And when they asked, I think it was Zach from DNVR, when he asked Sean about the Drake Greenlaw and all that stuff, Sean was cut him off immediately and was like, this, just so you know, this is the last time
I'm talking about
ever talking about this, about injuries. Like, we're done talking about it. respectfully. And if he would have
Shit.
been like,
Don't say that to me.
I know. Usually he would have been like, he's on schedule to be whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that he was like, I'm not giving you anything and I'm cutting you off made me go like, ugh, that's not great.
Yeah, I don't like that either. And well, and we know Sean is like, everybody talks about checkers and chess, but he's a sly son of a bitch, right?
Oh, for
sure. He's one of those people, and I've known a few of them, and I kind of wish I was one of them. But he, other than when he first started and he was leaving television media and became our coach, and he was just like saying whatever.
Yeah.
And it kind of blew up. Like he was talking about Hackett and how it was the worst coaching job ever.
Yeah.
You know, he said a few other things that were things that we can say or that the media can say on their shows, but coaches can't be saying shit like that.
Yeah.
Other than that brief moment, though, Sean has reverted back to what he normally is. And here it is in a nutshell. Everything he says for a reason.
Yes.
So that does give me a little relief that he like did that with Zach. Like he said those words. He's probably being very intentional.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So I would not be shocked if Dre Green, and I know they're on a pitch count or whatever, he and Singleton both. So I would not be shocked if Greenlaw just comes out there and balls out. But I would not be surprised if he balls out for a quarter and a half. Next thing you know, Tony Pollard and Ridley are shut down. Cam Ward's thrown 2 interceptions. The game's out of hand, and Greenlaw's on the sidelines while gosh, who would it be? Sternad? Like, I don't even know who's going to play.
I've heard it might be Lavelle Bailey coming up from the practice squad too.
And I asked that in the chat today. But I left before I got the answer to that because that's what I would hope.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with the practice squads and everything, I don't get as nervous as other people do about sending people and then bringing them back. And like, everybody's like, oh, they're going to claim them. They're going to take Loner. They're going to take these people. And it's like, guys, nobody's going to take these people. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like every team has practice squad guys that already know their system, that know what they're doing.
Yep.
It's just so rare to lose, it just wasn't going to happen. So I'm glad he's there. I would feel fine if he was playing, I think. But my big thing is I predicted a big year for Singleton. And I think you know this. Like, he's my guy, right?
Yeah.
So nobody else seems to think he's going to play well. But one of the reasons I think he's going to play well is because of Dre Greenlaw.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not in, call me nervous too. So we'll see how that goes. But we're going to pick the Broncos, obviously, to win this game.
Yep.
And whether Greenlaw plays or not, the Broncos are going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the weather, are they still talking about some rain this weekend? Do you know? I know I saw that coming up. And either way, Sean's been talking about getting the fast start, right? We've been starting slow. I think they're going to start slow again. I haven't seen anything in the preseason to change my mind on that. But if they can get the run game going, Ingram get Ingram involved right away, I can see like a 28-13 win. I think the Titans will get some points. I think the defense will give something up. They always do early. They're going to score like 7 points right away, and we're going to be like, all right, that's it. Fuck it. And then we'll shut them down. Like, I don't know why they do that, but the best defense in the planet will somehow get burned for 7. They'll give Titans some hope, and then they'll slowly just beat the shit out of them and shut them down. That's how I see the game going. So I'm going to call it 28-13. What do you got?
Funny.
By the way, I'm writing all these down.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
And you will be scolded if you're not right.
I'll probably do 3 shows between now and then, and I will have forgotten what score I gave today.
Yeah, well, the more you do and the more different scores you put out, the better chance you have.
It's like playing lottery tickets. Just buy more. Yeah.
It's like, March Madness, you got to fill out 50 brackets. One of them.
How many brackets do you have?
Yeah.
I have 47 brackets.
Yeah.
And I nailed it.
Yeah, I did one year. I was working at at Fox 31, and we did brackets, and I filled out one that I thought was like perfect, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna nail this, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should do a second one just in case, whatever. And I didn't even give it 1 ounce of thought, and I was like picking the opposite of what I had just picked, and and that one won it. So,
of course, that's the one.
Yeah. And I was like 13 out of 16 Sweet 16, 7 out of 8 Elite 8. It was like almost perfect. I was like, yeah, there you go. So,
that just goes to show you how almost impossible it is, like to do that and to do it well. But
yeah, it came down to me and Ron Zapolo. This is how old that's.
Oh wow, Ron Zapolo.
Yeah.
One of my heroes.
I beat him, so I'm like, ooh, I'm retiring off of that.
We've fallen so far since the days of Ron Zapolo.
I tell you.
In fact, I'm working on a special. It's called the Rise and Fall of Broncos Media, and it goes and one of the titles I was working on was A to Z from Adam, because Adam Schefter used to be with the Denver Post. For those of you that don't remember,
and yes, he was. I loved him back then.
And from Adam to Zapolo, so A to Z. So and I'm not saying that Broncos Media has fallen.
Are we the fall? Is that what you meant by that?
We are not the ones that have fallen. We are the rebound. So no, there are some fantastic ones out there. I guess you guys know I do my top 20s and my podcasts and my media members, and there are some great ones out there from, well, I'm not going to name names, but
yeah,
because then the ones I don't name, I'll get shit for. So what's your score prediction for the Broncos Titans game, Jeremy?
On Horsepower Hour, I predicted 27-13. You just did 28-13. So I think we're pretty close on the same page. I thought in my head, I was like, we might give up a couple field goals early and then maybe a garbage time at the end. But it might be the opposite. We might, like you said, give up that touchdown early, then shut it down, and then give up some stuff in the back end of the game. But
well, think about it this way though. We don't have anything on Cam Ward. Like, we don't have any film. Right. We have no idea what to expect. And VJ will do this thing where he'll just kind of keep everything in front of him for a little while.
Yeah.
While he's trying to figure out what's going on. And it gets frustrating, right? Because they're picking up 7 yards on every run, and they're wide open 10 yards down it just drives me crazy.
Yes.
But it ends up working. Like he lets them kind of march down there, and it's like, okay, now we know what they're doing. And you're right. Normally that'll end up in like that opening field goal where it's like, well, the Titans sure made that look easy. Let's see how the Broncos respond. And you're like, oh God, here we go. But there's a rhyme to his reason. Like he's just kind of, it's like some defenses will come in and say, this is what we're doing. You figure out a way to beat it.
Yeah.
Vance comes in with, let's see what they're doing and to figure out how we're going to play them. He's very strategic in what he does. And so I think in this game, there might be a little bit of that. And that's why I go with that quick 7 before, Cam Ward realizes how big the moment is after, Riley Moss picks him off because somebody told him, don't you dare throw it, PS2.
Right.
And then Calvin Ridley, like, how old is that guy? I think he can still play.
Yeah.
But they just don't have the weapons to really scare our defense. So I think it'll be, that crazy sort of like memory that's seeking into my head of how everybody could just kind of run on us towards the end of last year. I'm hoping with Hufanga and Greenlaw, we shut that down. Yeah. So we'll give them 13 points.
That's fair.
And is that me? Or is that you?
That noise?
Is yours a phone ringing or something?
Oh. Nope, I don't think that's me.
All right. Anyways, good. There might be a phone on silenced over there buzzing, so I'm just making sure my computer wasn't about to blow up or something. But everybody's pretty high on the Broncos. Now I have them in the top 10 in my power rankings. I had them at number 8, so I'm pretty high on them too. But I think when we start talking about Super Bowl contenders, I'm not sure I would put the Broncos in as a Super Bowl contender. I would probably put them as a playoff contender. I think they go to the playoffs. I think they'll make the playoffs this year, but I think we're getting a little high on the Broncos, and I mean nationally and locally. Like once somebody starts talking about how great they are and how good they are, and then everybody just starts to copy.
Yeah.
Like, does that? I mean, it doesn't scare me. It doesn't really matter. The games are going to be played on the field, but don't you think? Do you think that we're a little high on the Broncos, or are you all in and it's Super Bowl or bust?
Well, it's different because like the people that are going off of last year and excited about what they just saw, I think those people are justified. But what happened was Sean started to like talk about how great this team was and his expectations were Super Bowl, and then it was just like
True.
avalanche of like every single like if you're one of those like national reporters who literally has to cover 32 teams and has to come up with something then they hear something like from a coach. Again, Sean says some stuff every once in a while, and I think he's doing it to boost his own team's like
he's got his reasons.
Yeah. But like because of that, it like this little comment of being like, I think this team has the caliber to, do big things, is now exploded into this massive like, oh, the Broncos are like the darlings and all this stuff. And I hate that personally.
I do too.
It's like, here we go. I'm trying to just be like, okay, that's just lazy people being lazy. That's not real. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that's a great take.
Like, local people are fine. I think we kind of saw where we were heading. We're going up. It's just the national people are just like, oh, and you don't want to pick the Chiefs for the 10th time in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they go,
even though it's a safe pick, they want to be different. Yeah, those don't.
Nobody remembers being wrong. Like nobody's like, hey, remember like when you picked this team? Nobody cares. So they'll just say whatever is like titillating at the moment, and then just oh well, of course the Chiefs were great, whatever. Yeah. So I think they just looked at Travis Kelce's another year older and got other things going on. Rashee Rice is going to be out for 6 games. They got throttled in the Super Bowl. There's always a Super Bowl hangover. So it's easy to say like, oh, the Chiefs are down. Who's up? Broncos are up. Sean's hyping them. I just think, yes, it is too high for like reality, but it's not from us, I would say.
Yeah. And they can win the AFC West. I mean, just let me say that too. I'm not saying they won't win the NFC West or they can't win it. I think they AFC West. I wouldn't bet that they would a lot of money, but I would not be shocked if they did. I would absolutely love it if we took the Chiefs down. I also agree with Jeremy with something you said earlier. I think in some ways that the Chargers are a bigger problem in some ways. They are built in a way that could beat the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Broncos are built to beat the Chiefs.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
100%.
So, and one of those things that I wanted to talk about was the run game. JK and RJ are 1 and 2. You've got a nickname for RJ already. You call him the 1-2 punch, which is fantastic. Well done on you.
Thank
you.
Maybe
We'll get t-shirts done.
Sure.
But the four running backs that I had making the team actually made the team.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a couple guys the other night and was talking about on the show, but for the first time, and I don't know how long, let's say it's the second half and out comes the offense to start the second half. And it's either J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin, or Tyler Bidet.
Mm-hmm.
I would literally be fine with any of those guys who came out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're going to put Jaleel in. Let's see what they've got planned. Or, oh, Bidet's in. Let's go. He could break one. What a difference a day makes. Like, that is an incredible upgrade for this team. And last year, and I'm rambling, but last year there was a lot of talk about how the offensive line was one of the best, run rate, run win rate, one of those nerdy stats that, the people smarter than me use. And naked eye, there were lanes that were not used last year in the run game. So I believe it. I'll have to see it. I'm a show me guy, but I'm very excited and intrigued to see what this run game can do, because if it goes, Jeremy, I'm telling you, if the run game goes,
Yep.
everything's going to go.
Yes.
It's all going to work.
I totally agree.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you, first of all, I'm assuming you believe that certainly the running back room has improved. Will the run game improve? And do you agree with how, and like literally how important that is to this football team to succeed?
Definitely. I definitely think it's critical for this team to succeed. I do think it's going to be better. I do think that it might take a little bit of time because they're changing out. They're going to do a lot more outside zone kind of stuff, and that just takes time to like get it beat into you.
Yeah.
Your assignments are. I just remember the Alex Gibbs days where he's just yelling at guys like, "You got to get your," all that crap. And so there's people on the team that aren't necessarily built for that, Ben Powers and stuff. There's guys that are, the transition might be a little tougher for them, but like, of course it's going to be better. It has to be better. Like, how could it be worse? Like, I love Javonte and everything he gave, his knees that he donated to the Denver, fans and everybody. But like, my goodness, that guy, if you didn't love Terrell Davis before and what his elite thing that he brought to the NFL was vision, and then you saw Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams decided to run into the backs of his own linemen instead of like lanes that are wide open, and I was like, this is insane. I don't know how we're like, it was so frustrating that he was out there so much, but that's who they trusted in pass protection. So it was like you have to leave him out there, I guess. And then Sean went and drafted the guy who I felt had the best vision in the draft, which was RJ Harvey. And people kept on being like, oh, well, he bounces it outside too much. He has this habit. It's like he's bouncing it out. He's bouncing it to the part where the defenders aren't, is what he's doing. And it's like, it's not just he's scared to take it inside. It's that he used to be a quarterback and he knows where the defense is flowing and he's going away from that. So I think definitely it's going to be better. I mean, obviously with a rookie, it's going to take a little time. I remember when Terrell Davis was a rookie, and, he wasn't even supposed to make the team. And then he had that amazing hit, in preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he started getting reps and then by the time season ran around, he came around, he was basically the starter. And his mentality his rookie year was, I don't need to make big plays. Just don't make mistakes. Don't run hard, but don't fumble it. Don't make mistakes. And then by the second year, he was like, okay, make big plays. So RJ Harvey going into this, I just think he might be a little like more just do your job, make sure you do it well, but I don't need to like get insane with stuff.
They're definitely telling him, look, get the 4 yards.
Yeah.
I don't need you to get 20 yards on every run. Get the 4 yards. That's definitely being told to him.
Yeah.
There'll be plays. Yeah. There'll be plays that are set up where it's like, hey, if you see something and they line up this way, you can fake the cutback, and then go and let's see what we can get.
Well, the reason why I think they're switching to outside zone is because it's that whole style is contingent on the decision making of the running back, of saying, what do you see? And if Terrell Davis back in his day, like if he saw a cutback lane, take the cutback.
Oh yeah,
he would know. He would cut before he knew he was going to cut when there was absolutely zero hole, but by the time he hit it, the hole was opened up. So it's contingent on a guy that they trust to make the right decision. And I think that's exactly what, RJ Harvey does best. So I think it's a perfect fit.
I agree. I don't know enough about J.K. Dobbins to know how that fits his running style, but just going and watching highlights from him, I like him. Like he looks good. And then I went and watched just a couple games that he played, that he had good games in, just so I could kind of see. But if you didn't watch Terrell Davis play, you don't know what Jeremy's talking about. So when they would hike the ball, imagine every lineman running this way and every defender running with them, and then all of a sudden Terrell would see the smallest little sliver of light and he was gone, going the other direction. The cutback lanes was everything. And so RJ is definitely capable of doing that. He's got great vision. Yeah, I'm so excited about this game. We have football to watch tonight.
Yeah.
Not the game we want quite yet.
No.
But yeah, I'm excited too. I think it's gonna make a big difference. I think like the run game. Think of the season that Bo Nix had last year with the run game we had. Imagine having the tight end that we have now and an improved run game. I could tuck myself right back into that 13-4 record real quick.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, last year, like Bo Nix running was a feature of the offense, and hopefully this year it's like an option that you only need to pull out on third downs and dramatic like scramble situations, but he doesn't need to like look to run, like last year. It was for the first half of the season, it was Cortland Sutton being double teamed and nobody else. And now it's pick your poison. And now he has a tight end. Now he has good running backs. Now he has
Troy Franklin, maybe
ascending wide receivers. So yeah, you gotta be excited.
Yeah. And I am excited. I think that, I think Sean will unleash Bo in the big games where he needs him.
Yes.
Remains to be seen though. Now, this is something I don't care much about. Okay. I did want to bring it up.
Let's talk about it.
Team captains. There are 8 team captains, which I guess,
yeah,
somebody thought that was cool. I prefer the old one on offense, one on defense, one on special teams. I think it carries a little more weight that way. But here they are. I don't have any complaints about anybody here. I'm very happy to see my guy Alex on here. I don't know if can you see my pointer on the screen? Probably not. So I'm going to take it off of there. So no Benito.
Okay.
I find interesting. I think that's really it though. Like this is a good group. And the reason I say that, or the reason I bring that up, Jeremy, is because we picked 8 captains. You could have added Benito to that. You could have added McGlinchey to that. I mean, there are other players. Like, we have a lot of really high character, good players on this football team. And I think that speaks to what you were talking about before.
Yeah.
George Paton and Sean Payton are building, I'm not going to use the lunch pail type because we do have some speed and some players and some flash, but that is a solid group of players. And that's not even all of them that could be captains. So, what do you think about captains? Does it matter? Do you care? I
almost only care if there's somebody that is weird, I guess. Like,
yeah. Or if Bo wasn't a captain,
right?
That would be
something like
we'd
that.
have to talk about.
I mean, it totally makes sense that like it's Bo, obviously. I think Sutton said the one that was a little. I think they just there's a lot of people that could be. Zach Allen wasn't, so I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
That was the other one I thought of too.
Because when you get paid and you get rewarded to being like a team guy and all that stuff, but some people are vocal leaders and some people are like. I remember Vaughn being like, he's not really a vocal leader at the time. He was more of like on the field type of get behind me and I'll do it. I don't see PS2 being a vocal leader really.
He's not. No, he's not.
It's like how Champ Bailey was. He's almost the exact kind of guy. So, captains is weird, but I wasn't surprised by really anyone. I like the fact that Hufanga is a captain.
I did too.
Because that just shows you the instant respect that people have when he is in the locker room, when he's talking. People are, obviously the team votes on it, and the fact that he's won instantly like that over some other guys who have been in the locker room for years, it tells you a lot about his leadership. So
I agree, and what a room that is now with Brandon Jones and him.
Oh yeah,
the talk about great defenses are what's great, but I mean, if you if you think about Brandon, you think about Hufanga, PS2, Moss, J-Mac,
Baron
Jade Barron, and of course our rookie who's help me.
on defense.
What's that?
On defense?
Yeah, our rookie, not our rookie, but our second year little cornerback.
Cornerback? Who's our second year?
Yeah, the little kid that could probably start on almost every team, and he makes plays all the time. And I can't think of his name. We usually use his initials for his name, but he's like that. That's just an incredible backfield that we have.
Oh yeah.
So if the run game at all can be held up, this defense is going to just completely dominate. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited about Hufanga coming in. And why can't I think of our cornerback number 5? Why is that? Why is there no one in my chat telling me who our?
It's McMillan. It's Barron. It's PS2. It's Moss. Are you talking about Mathis?
No, he's gone.
Who? How am I not thinking of it?
Adams drain.
Yeah, KD.
Yeah, KAD.
Yeah.
Chris Abrams drain. So
Chris
yeah,
Abrams,
totally couldn't think of his name, but
Sorry,
another great player.
Yeah.
Who, if he has to play, I'd be excited about. I mean, the depth on this team is crazy.
Even Chris Harris on Twitter was like, how do you keep him off the field? This guy makes plays. And it's like, well, that's Chris Harris saying that. So that tells you how deep your backfield is when your fifth guy would be starter on most teams. You know?
If he doesn't get used this year, you watch him as a trade candidate for next year.
Could be, but almost like you just want that depth. The thing about
you might want it, but you can't have a guy like that as your number 5 forever. Maybe J-Mac goes, and Jade moves up, and then J-Mac goes, and then Chris Abrams comes our dime, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's possible too. But I just think he's again. I agree with Chris Harris. He's like too good to keep off the field.
Yeah.
Like he just looks great.
Every time he gets a feature role, he makes plays. Every time.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk a little bit about preseason hype.
Okay.
Just briefly.
Yeah.
I always get a kick out of putting people in the Hall of Fame before they ever play a down. This year, it was Caleb Lohner.
Yeah.
Now, Caleb Lohner is the 6'7", whatever, basketball player, tight end.
Yep.
Had played like one season of college ball, maybe.
Yeah, 54 snaps, 52 snaps, something like that.
Snaps. We're not even talking games.
Nope.
That's crazy. So Bo Nix had more college games than he had snaps.
Yeah, the guy he was going against, Prescorn, who came from he had more games than he had snaps. Yeah.
Oh, that's just crazy to me. But anyways, this time it was Caleb Lohner. I also heard that there was no way that he would pass through waivers,
right?
Which is the most ridiculous of them all,
right?
So I think we all know, or at least we should know, that if you claim somebody off a practice squad, or if you claim somebody, you have to put them on the 53.
Right.
You don't just get to stuff them on your practice squad.
Right.
So nobody was going to put Caleb Lohner on the 53, but there were a few. We've got shades of Jimmy Graham this back in May for Caleb Lohner. His handpicked. There's something special about Caleb Lohner. Now Zach Seegers being Zach, I just don't know who's giving Lohner a spot on the 53, considering how raw he is.
Yeah,
that is the correct position.
Yeah, it's always been.
Our other Zach Stevens, friend of the show. I apologize for bringing this up. If you want that, you can text me later. Why Denver Broncos draft pick Caleb Lohner should be Sean Payton's next Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham, folks. Caleb Lohner. And then, so of course, Cody Rourke really liking what we're seeing from Caleb Lohner.
I mean,
I've seen two reps from Caleb Lohner. The basketball player can play some football. Scotty Gange.
yeah.
I mean, it just goes on and on. Cameron Parker, I have the sneaky suspicion Caleb Lohner sees some snaps this season. Easy transition for him would be red zone. It's going to be a problem. Sarah Bettinger, show me a clip. Like, I mean, just every one of these. Even Andy, young Andy, you're familiar with Andy.
Of course, yeah.
The anomaly that is tight end Caleb Lohner. I apologize. You know, Andy, I apologize. I was just like shouting you out like an hour ago on Twitter, and now I'm making fun of you. So I always think these are fun to go back on, and we all do it. But at the end of the day, we're talking about practice, man. We're talking about
Not the
talking
game.
about practice,
Not the game.
not the game. And it's, you know, we do it every year. And Jeremy, you and I have been around long enough to watch us do it with our backup quarterbacks every year too.
Oh, yeah.
How you don't have a quarterback when everybody's screaming how great this guy is the next, whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought this season, off season was kind of funny, but having it be it's normally like Sunshine, like remember Sunshine, the wide receiver, or somebody like that. To have it be like this one-off basketball playing 7th round throw a dart pick to be the one,
Yeah.
I just thought was hilarious, because it's just like, I didn't even think he would make the practice squad. Like, I thought it was not necessarily a wasted pick, because I'd think it was Indy or the Patriots or somebody wanted him, and
Yeah.
Sean's like, no, let's take him so they can't get him, which is fine. But yeah, do you enjoy that time of year as much as I do? Like,
Yeah.
like Christmas, like you look at the package and it could be anything,
Mhm.
and you shake it up and you think it could be something, and then you open it up and you're like, oh, it's okay. And
Right.
that's kind of what happens in preseason. They're all little gifts. The free agents and all the rookies, they're the gifts. But yeah, Lohner was the funny one for me. Did you have anybody this preseason that got you going, that you were like, oh man, this guy is going to be something?
I mean, I predicted that the second after we drafted that we're going to have 3 to 4 starters off this draft, and 6 out of 7 will make the 53. And I think that's exactly what happened. But that wasn't hard. But the one my one is Lohner. I didn't like, how is he going to make the team? Like, I just didn't see it. And I think it does push Kroll and those type of guys. You always want to be the first guy on the story. I remember when I told you.
Yeah, I told you so. I do that sometimes too. It's fun.
Everybody does. So yeah, no, it's fine. I just knew like how he didn't even know how to put his pants on. Like he didn't know what, you know what I mean? He's gonna go out there.
Is there a story that he didn't know how to put his pants on? Is that true?
Yeah, like he didn't know like even like the football gear very well. You know what I mean? Like, so
that's great.
Now, somebody that big and strong and athletic, like that's the thing with coaches, is coaches go, oh, just give me that clay to mold. Like, remember Adam Gotsis? And we had,
oh yeah, the Australian, right?
The Australian, and he ends up being like a guy who's been in the league for like 10 years. So
yeah, somebody stuck with him eventually, and he got play. Yeah.
Yeah, and he, he's a good football player, but like the clay is, the kiln isn't going to get fired up for a couple of years. You know what I mean? You got to shape that for a while. And yeah, I just didn't see how he could be on the 53. The only way I could see it is like, okay, we have like certain packages at the red zone just to throw it up to this guy, and that's it. But like, that's really, really limited for one guy to like make your 53, because you have to worry about special teams. You have to worry about all these things. It's just not. It's not easy to like stash one guy for.
No, it's not in that position, and not unless he's got something going on in special teams, right? Like he can't just be sitting around waiting for it to be first and goal from the 12, first down from the 12, or maybe the 20, red zone guy, get him in there. Yeah, I thought that was fun. I guess my guy, RJ Harvey was my guy for the draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were to say, Mike, what was your favorite, like your guy? It was RJ for sure.
Yeah, me too.
The one guy that I kind of let myself get hyped up with, and it was a lot of the coverage, of course, swayed me, was Pat Bryant.
Yeah, I'm hyped up on him for sure.
Yeah, I'm hyped up on him. I went back and watched everything he did in the preseason.
Yep.
And I just did that last night, and today I just finished up today doing that just to make sure I was seeing things. And I saw some things that were very encouraging. And a couple of them were on some of the catches that he made. Like, you could literally see the dirt kicking up behind his feet as he's making the catch and going. So, like, Cortland Sutton, as great as he is, contested catches, back shoulder catches, a dig route, whatever,
Yep.
like a dagger, like he's really good at doing that. But look, he's not going to break it off and get another 8, 10, 12, maybe a touchdown. That's just not going to happen. I see something, and like, Bryant is running aggressively through the catch.
Yes.
And that's one of the two of the things I look for as with my little amateur eyes. One, do they catch the ball away from their body with their hands?
Yep.
And are they running? Like, I see a lot of guys that stop running in high school or do a little jump to catch the ball because their head's moving and they can't quite see it, as the ball's coming. When I see these guys hauling ass and catching the ball and not really breaking stride unless the ball's not thrown right where it needs to be, that has always been, like, if you go back and watch the great ones, they all do that. And Pat Bryant definitely has that. So that helps the sting of the Vele loss for me. What are your thoughts on Pat Bryant?
Yeah, so Pat Bryant, to me, and I'm gonna say we just poked fun at some people for making some big claims, Jimmy Graham comparisons, that kind of stuff. The guy who he reminds me of, and I'm not saying they're gonna have the same career, I'm not saying any of that, but like, the guy who he reminds me of, the way he plays the game, is Rod Smith. Rod Smith was that same kind of weird player where you're just like, he doesn't seem like he's the fastest straight line guy, but he plays. He plays
faster.
He plays faster.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's making his cuts or when he's doing stuff, he's going the same speed as when he's going straight. And that's what Pat Bryant does. But also, the body control and the awareness on the football field is where it's like, oh, this dude is way beyond his years. Yeah. He knows where his feet are. He knows where the sideline is. He knows where the other player is. That's the kind of stuff where a lot of the young guys, you'll just don't, okay, run up here, run a route, and then they'll just get smacked or whatever. They'll catch the ball or whatever. But like, Pat Bryant is already like aware of where that defender is coming from and is ready to make that play. He made some plays at Illinois, some game-winning plays, by just the awareness. And I think that people were fooled me because I kind of listened to some of the draft people about like, oh, he's a 6th rounder, 5th rounder, somewhere in there. And then when he ends up going 3rd round, you go, oh, you overdrafted him. And then as soon as you get him in, you go, no, you didn't. Like, everything, just because, people only look at like 40 times or stuff like that. But it's like, how is he as a football player? And for me, for him as a football player, he has those special traits that I remember in Rod, that is just like, oh, you just knew, he knew how to position his body. He it wasn't just like a guy out on the field where other things, he's just very aware, you know what I mean? And that's the main thing that excites me about him. He can do everything. He's good at everything.
Yeah.
I think there wasn't one thing that like maybe blew people away where it's like, oh, he's got amazing speed or height or whatever, but like, he does everything well and he's just getting started. I think Sean is, I think Vele is not on the team anymore because they're like, there's no way we're going to make him inactive. There's just no way we can keep him off the field.
Yeah.
And
that's definitely part of it. Yeah, that's definitely part of it. The 4th rounder was definitely part of it, but I 100% agree with everything you said. And for the record, folks, you heard it here first. Pat Bryant is the next Rod Smith.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Should have the same career.
Put him in the Ring of Fame.
Put him in the Ring of Fame. He looks the part, and he just seems to have. Now he seems to have everything he needs. Now here comes the hard part. Sean Payton's offense is not easy to learn for wide receivers. Marvin Mims learned that lesson last year.
Yep.
But Marvin Mims will be your wide receiver too, as predicted by your good friend Mike Carmelini, where I went 4 for 4, folks. Check the tweets. They're out there.
Nice.
So anyways, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant, and of course, Cortland Sutton. The wide receiver room is better than it was last year. And we traded Valet, right, for Bryant. But the reason I say it's still better is Court's going to be Court. Court's working with Bo again for the second straight year in the same system. So that chemistry is only getting better.
Yep.
Mims has learned the system now. People that I know have said, you don't need to worry about Mims running choice routes now. He knows what he's doing. They'll still gadget him.
Yep.
And Troy's going to steal some of those, those routes from Mims because he's just going crazy in practice, in preseason, in the meeting rooms. His confidence is up there. Can't wait to see him under the lights not drop that ball that he's supposed to catch for a touchdown. Once he does that, man, I will jump fully on board with Troy Franklin. At this point, though, I'm cautiously super optimistic about them, but I'm feeling way better about that room. And I'm certainly feeling better about the Broncos as a whole. So we've got, now that Rod Smith is back on the team,
Yeah, that's right.
we're winning the Super Bowl. I think we'll Jeremy, do you got anything else? Now, what's going on with you guys over at the big horsepower hour this week? Did you already have your show this week? I have not got caught up.
Yeah, we had it Monday nights at 8. We did, and then I'm going to be doing some post games with Marquee Sports. I don't know if it's going to be like 10 minutes after the game or an hour. I'm not sure when and where, but like pretty much, instant reactions after the game, which is going to be, if anybody knows me personally, it's like I get way too emotionally invested. I'm good the next day.
Yeah.
I'm old enough now where I've can detach myself 24 hours later, but right after it's going to be interesting to watch, because if you lose, it could be bad. Yeah, I could crash out hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited to do that. That's going to be fun. And just, it's sometimes it's just all emotion right afterwards. It's like, we're the worst team. This guy sucks, whatever. And then you're just like, okay, maybe take it easy. Maybe
yeah, it's tough. And it's okay, because, and I always try to tell, I guess the one thing I've learned about, I do the top 20s, right? And rate the stuff and a critic, everybody's a critic, but one thing I've learned over the last 4 or 5 years of doing that is when people are not themselves, it shows,
of course,
and it just comes right through that you're not being genuine, that you're putting on an act, and it's a big turnoff for me, and I know it's a big turnoff for their audiences. And one of the things I do is, a couple years ago, I made a spreadsheet of everybody's how many YouTube followers that their channels had.
Okay.
And then 6 months later, I checked it again. And then 6 months later. And so every 6 months I check everybody's YouTube subs.
Yeah.
Now, I don't do it for nefarious reasons. I do it to show what shows are growing and what shows are not growing. And I like some of the shows that are not growing, but I know why they're not growing. So let's just say I've had these people have reached out, have had these conversations, but I've also had them with people who have very successful shows that grow, and I ask them, what are their keys and what do they think? And generally across the board, one of the biggest indicators of that is if you turn on a show, and it's just like meeting somebody at a bar or meeting somebody at a friend's house or, wherever at work. and
Yeah.
you're talking to them, after just like 5 minutes of talking to somebody, you can tell if they're talking to you
Yes.
or if they're just acting and saying what they think you might want to hear or makes them sound a certain way. They're not being themselves. Their reactions aren't right.
You're right.
You know, like
It's not
human
like-
nature, there's something in our human nature, our spidey senses, that just says that person's not being genuine.
Mhm.
And so, yeah. So if you're a total shitbag when we lose and you go crazy, that's what you have to do, right? Like
Yeah.
you just have to be yourself. I